My top 5 exercises for explosive strength. So basically, using kettlebells and a heavy sandbag. What I want to do is make this for people that are looking to improve their deadlift, sumo deadlift, and heavy squat. What we're going to do on my absolute number 1, if you don't know how to swing a kettlebell by now, 2 hands, go find out. This isn't for a basic thing. We're going to use 2 bells, and these are heavy kettlebells. We're not working on light stuff. You're going to stay in the lower range of reps, anywhere from 3 to 5 of these. We don't want to go in the higher stuff till way towards the end. But if you're trying to go for 500 plus pounds deadlift, why in the world are you swinging a 50-pound kettlebell? So what we got here is 2 79s. There's going to be 100 and close to 160 pounds, and about 5 different exercises. The first one, big thing you want. If I see anybody swinging in Air Maxes or any type of shoe like that, you know that's a bad thing. You should get slapped for that. You want shoes that are have very little padding in it. The last thing you want to do is be squishing around in your shoes while you're driving from the ground. And I don't want to hear any crap about wearing shorts. Is all I had and this is what you get. So the first exercise I'm going to do is inside double kettlebell swings. This is great for your sumo deadlifts. Work the adductors and glute max, glute medius. We're going to do get the bells, like I said, heavy kettlebells. Drop down, hike them behind, drive. Boom. From the side. So there's inside, heavy, double kettlebells. Like I said, you're forcing that power. My heart rate's up. Breathing's pretty tough. Next exercise is outside the hip. Heavy kettlebell swings. So we're going to have a very close stance. Now I know you're not going to be squatting just like this. Well, what we want to try to do, build that lateral quad, glute medius, glute max, and we're working, you need to work on assistant stuff. So if you never train this with your legs this close together, it could be something that helps you in your normal stance. So the same thing, I'm going to be bending at the hip, driving forward, not lifting with my back, but I'm tightening my torso. Get it started from the side. And there's the outside hip suitcase swings. Great for the shoulders, great for blocking the torso, keeping the spine safe. Okay, next one is heavy single leg deadlift. So we're going to slow the tempo down a little bit. The reason why I do single leg things is if I can do 200 pounds on one leg, can I easily do 400 pounds with 2? Okay, so we're working up. Then it's stability. So I'm going to take my time with this. Focus on tracking the hip, knee, and ankle. Once again, if you're in freaking Air Maxes, do it barefoot. There we go. Now, coming towards the end, I've worked stabilization of the hips, of a hip joint. I've worked outside, inside, Now what I'm going to do is one thing is, you've done so much posterior chain. Let's work the front. We need to work our psoas. A lot of people's psoas are weak, and we're going to be imbalanced in the hip. So what I do, this is probably one of the best exercises of anything. Dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever. For any athlete, is the Renegade Row. So, we're going to take 2 bells, once again, heavy. This is pretty daggone heavy, so I'm rowing 80 while I'm holding myself up. I'm trying to lock my glutes so I'm not popping up. Squeeze my glutes, semi-wide stance, push, pull. On the other side. Now my goal is to keep my hips locked in full extension. So my psoas and all my abdominals, quads, chest, everything's working. Why is this beneficial for power? Because we're building the psoas, we're building the strength in the anterior to help stabilize for our posterior. You got to be balanced. So I'm squeezing my glutes. Once again, powerlifting, squatting, bodybuilding, it's a very, very up, down, sagittal plane, you know, forward, backwards, up. What we want to work on is transverse. That is the anti-rotation right there. I'm not rotating, I'm locking, I'm keeping my body from rotating. Same thing here. You need muscles that work on the transverse plane to keep you from rotating. The powerlifting explosive strength, it's not a kettlebell, imagine that. You can use a kettlebell, but think about how often we're going to keep our arms up for, you know, a heavy squat or a heavy deadlift. So what I'm going to do is overload my body with a heavy sandbag. So, Josh Henkin, this sandbag is getting a little too small. We got a lot of weight in there. It's literally filled to the brim. So we need some bigger ones. So I'll be getting at you soon. Anyway, what I'm going to do, Turkish Getup. Lay it across your shoulder. One of the best exercises for your full range of motion in your hips, for sagittal plane, frontal plane, and transverse. You work everything. And like I said, we're keeping it away from just locking out because sometimes that hinders people's ability. A lot of people have rough, tough shoulders. You can still do Turkish Getups with a heavy weight for your torso and your hips, your legs, without having it above. So, heavy, heavy sandbag. What I'm going to do is lay down on the side, bring this across me, balance it out, hip drive, lift, go to the knee, lean laterally, lunge up, lean laterally, lower down. You can play with all sorts of angles of this. Drive, extend your hips. And there you go. There's a heavy sandbag, Turkish Getup. I mean, it should be killing your knees. That heavy. Anyway, just to be on the ground. So, those 5 exercises are my top 5 for explosive strength, for helping the deadlift, and helping your heavy squat.